contour-cutting rotary Groundsmaster models are all powerful grass mowers designed for large area and volume cutting. The new designs of these units have many new features to improve productivity. All mowing equipment can be dangerous when not used properly. You must use each mower correctly and with attention to safety to protect yourself and those around your work site. This program will help you become familiar with the safety practices to operate the Groundsmaster 4500, 4700, 4300, 3500, and 3505 models. But this program is not a substitute for reading the operator's manual. The manual is in the storage tube. You can also find a copy of the manual online at Toro.com. Go to the Customer Care section under Operators and Parts Manuals. It's also important that you complete the Toro Turf Maintenance Safety Education Program and Test. They are also available online at Toro.com under the Customer Care section in the Education and Technical Reference section. There are many common features to each mower model, so this program will show features and functions on one model. The use of other mowers is essentially the same. There are some features or procedures that apply only to specific models. Those features will be noted by the model number on screen as the topic is discussed. These Groundsmasters are available to meet European CE compliance requirements with some additional components installed. Wing cutting deck lift latches lock the side cutting decks in the raised position for transport on the Groundsmaster 4700. Your owner's manual has other CE compliance components listed, or contact your local Toro distributor for more information on CE compliance items. All contour cutting Groundsmaster models have Contour Plus ground following cutting decks. The decks pivot both forward and backward and to either side to stay close to the turf surface without scalping. Each cutting deck is 27 inches or 69 centimeters in width, except on the 4300 model, which carries 5 22-inch or 59 centimeter cutting decks. Total cutting widths range from 68 to 150 inches, or 172 to 381 centimeters, depending on the model you are using. All models have a rollover protection system, or ROPS, and seat belt, which you should always use during operation. Safety and instruction labels, or decals, are located at key points on the equipment. Look for these decals and obey them. Alert symbol indicates a hazard to be avoided. Read the operator's manual to understand the hazard and how to avoid it. All operators should be trained before operating a piece of machinery. Thrown objects hazard. Keep bystanders a safe distance from the machine. Watch out for areas where you might throw debris toward people, buildings, or vehicles. Cutting dismemberment hazard. Keep hands and feet away from these areas, where moving parts and blades could cause serious injury. Never put your hand or foot in or near any moving part. Tipping hazard. Use caution when driving on slopes to avoid a tip-over hazard. Drive slowly and avoid any sharp turns. Never operate a piece of equipment on a slope that has not been approved by your supervisor. Fire hazard. Keep all ignition sources away from the area when adding fuel, and don't overfill the fuel tank. You will find other decals and labels at various places on the equipment. Be sure you know what each one means, and follow the instructions to protect you and others around you and the machine. Proper clothing and protective gear help keep you safe during operation. Avoid any loose-fitting clothing that could get caught in moving parts. Wear substantial leather shoes or work boots. Safety glasses and hearing protection are always a good idea and may be required. Make sure you check local ordinances, insurance, and facility regulations for proper protective gear. Personal headphones do not provide hearing protection and can distract you from safely operating the equipment. You should never use headphones. You need to be alert and aware during operation of any powered equipment. Never operate the equipment when you are drowsy or possibly affected by prescription medications, alcohol, or drugs. To get on the unit, step up on the left side of the machine into the operator area. For models with the standard seat, sit in the seat and adjust it to a comfortable position. The seat adjusting lever allows you to adjust the seat forward and backward. The weight adjusting knob adjusts the seat for the operator's weight. The weight gauge indicates when the seat is adjusted to the weight of the operator to properly engage interlocks. The height adjusting knob adjusts the seat for the operator's height. If the unit has an air ride suspension seat, adjust the air ride suspension by turning the ignition key to the on position without starting the engine. Then pull up or push down on the gray lever underneath the seat. This adds or releases air to the suspension. A visual indicator will show green when the air suspension is within appropriate range. Adjust the tilt angle of the seat back with the gray lever located under the left side armrest. You can adjust the left armrest angle by turning the knob located under the armrest. On the 4300, 4500, and 4700 models, adjust the tilt steering by stepping on the lever on the steering column near the floor. Move the steering column toward or away from you for the most comfortable position. On the 3500 and 3505 models, use the tilt steering lever near the wheel to adjust the steering column angle to a comfortable position. On the 4500 and 4700 models, the brake pedals lock together to engage the parking brake. They can also be used separately for steering brake pedals. To set the parking brake, lock the brake pedals together like this. Push down on both pedals and press the top right pedal to latch. Push the brake pedal down to release. On the 4300 model, press the brake pedal down until it locks to set the parking brake. Press it down to the floor to release. On the 3500 and 3505 models, braking during operation is through release of the traction pedal. A parking brake lever by the operator's seat is used for securing the mower when not in use. The traction pedal controls forward and reverse travel on all models. On the 4500 and 4700, the high and low range switch selects the speed for mowing or transport. Use high range for transport and low range for mowing. When shifting between high and low, the mower must be traveling less than 2 miles per hour. Mow only in low range. The cutting decks will not operate or lower when the speed control switch is set to high range. On the 4300 model, a mow speed limiter flips down to the floor toward the operator for transport and flips up to limit the maximum speed for mowing. On the 3500 and 3505 models, use the mow or transport slider near the traction pedals to set that function. The cutting decks will only operate when the slider is set to mow position. The 4300, 4500, and 4700 models all have Toro's control hub console, with indicators or gauges on the console or armrest side panel. Controls and gauges for the 3500 and 3505 will be described separately. The lift switch or joystick raises and lowers the cutting decks and allows the decks to float. Pushing the switch or stick forward drops the decks, and backward raises the decks. The 4700 has 2 additional lift switches for the wing decks on each side. The throttle control moves forward to increase engine speed and back to decrease speed. The throttle should be positioned half open for starting and full or all the way open for mowing and transport. The high-low speed switch adjusts the engine for mowing in low and transport in high. Always mow in the low position on the switch. On the 4500 and 4700 models, the power takeoff switch lifts up to engage the cutting deck blades and presses down to disengage. A power takeoff toggle switch engages the blades on the 4300 model. The charge indicator light next to the key switch illuminates if the system charging circuit malfunctions. The engine oil pressure light illuminates if the engine oil pressure is dangerously low. The engine coolant temperature warning light illuminates if the engine reaches dangerously high temperatures. The cutting decks will disengage prior to engine shutdown. The diagnostic light will illuminate if the sensors on the mower detect an engine malfunction. If any of these indicators illuminate or are out of normal operating range, immediately stop the mower and have it serviced. The hour meter is on the side of the right armrest on the 4300, 4500, and 4700 models. A manual cooling fan switch is also in this location on the 4500 and 4700 models. Both the 4500 and 4700 Groundsmasters have the automatic Smart Cool system, which reverses the cooling fan to blow chaff and dust off of the radiator screen if engine temperature rises. A manual activation switch is located on the side of the control arm. You should manually reverse the fan when the rear screen is becoming clogged and prior to entering the shop area. There is a 12-volt power jack on the control arm, along with storage spots for a radio or phone.